So we are in the aftermath of week 17? I guess that's right. Yeah, week 17, because we're coming up on week 18 last week. Big game next week. Only a big game next week because we won barely the game in week 17. Good job, guys. The defense showed up. That's good. Josh Allen kind of put the nail in the coffin for his MVP bid because that was not a good showing on his part. Rasul Douglas, my God, I can't believe we got lucky enough to get this guy at the trade deadline. He has been phenomenal. I'm actually kind of worried for Tre'Davious White's job. I'm not sure about his contract. He might still have one more year on his contract. I'm not sure. I know Von Miller has another year on his contract, more than 1 year on his contract, but we sat him, which was wise because our defense was amazing without him.
Sometimes life's just be lifing.
I didn't hear Epinez's name called a lot, but I think he made more of a difference out there on the field when he was out there, so I'm glad he's back. But yeah, Rasul Douglas seems to be having a fucking blast in Buffalo.
It's like the perfect fit for you.
Yeah,
Moving
man,
over.
I love it here. I love it here. I love it here.
What do you love?
Just how they make me feel, how our vets take control and they talk to you about the whole play, so they keep me on my game.
Honestly, it's rare that you get somebody moving to Buffalo whose immediate reaction is, I love it here, I love it here, I love it here. But he was coming from Green Bay. They interviewed Dion Dawkins, and his perspective on how things are going with the team sort of pairs up with what I sort of take away and why I love the team so much, which is they've really bonded as a unit in a way that I think is rare.
The team became more of a team. It was all of the dinners, all of the hanging outs, all of the Uno games, the card games, the everything, cornhole, all of it. It was a little bit of all of that, of guys, meshing together closer and understanding that we could have all of the talent in the world, but when you play for your brother, like genuinely play for your brother, we're an unstoppable group. So I think that we done hit that mode where we're not playing for ourselves anymore and we're playing for each other. It's not about self and it's about the team.
They're just having a lot of fun with each other. Defense especially, they've had a lot of injuries and they've really come together. My favorite Bills player, Khalil Shakir, had a good game, which is always fun to watch. I love that he's really coming up out of almost nowhere to make a name for himself. It seems like he and Josh have a connection that Josh is really lacking with a lot of the other receivers right now. I don't know what's going on with Diggs. He needs to get over that, and he needs to get over that this week because we kind of need some explosive plays out of Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen this week in Miami. My parents are going to be at the Miami game. That's going to be awesome. Seems like the Buffalo airport has been absolutely swarmed with people the last couple days. Like Zuba's pants everywhere. People shouting, "Squish the fish." The fish look like they can be squished, honestly. I feel like we really have to fuck up to not manage this. They have a ton of injuries, and they looked like shit last week. I had a lot more fun looking at the score of that game than the score of our game. There were a lot of Dolphins fans on Twitter who were not happy with the fact that the Dolphins continued to throw touchdown passes after Chubb was injured badly and carted off the field. The Ravens' backup quarterback threw a touchdown one play after that.
Huntley, look at end zone for the touchdown.
Apparently that was distasteful. I think the fact that they actually pulled Lamar Jackson and didn't continue to leave him in to run the score up like some other teams, the Dolphins did earlier this season when they slammed the Broncos with 70 points for no fucking good reason. So for any team to be talking shit about running up the score, Dolphins, it's not a good look. The other game that was getting a lot of press this week was the Cowboys-Lions game. Which, oh my God, like, look, we all know the refs kind of suck. We know the refs are inconsistent. They see things, they don't see things. They make good calls, they make bad calls. It happens. Most of them tend to counteract each other, like in the course of a game. Like every now and then there'll be one that seems super swayed to one side or the other, but usually it's like they make bad calls on both sides of the ball. We're used to this. We complain about it, but we're used to it. What I've never seen is a ref straight up just get something wrong. Not a judgment call. You know, a player came to this ref and said, I am reporting as eligible. And he went to the Cowboys and told them a completely different player had said he was eligible. That is so flagrantly fucked up that I don't understand how the NFL is now doubling down on this. Like, I get that the Lions got a little extra trying to trick the Cowboys. It was dumb. It was a dumb move to have 3 different linemen coming in towards the ref, making it look like any one of them could have been telling the ref they were eligible. The ref was just going to go tell the Cowboys who was eligible anyway. I think the idea was maybe everybody's so flustered in the energy of the game that they just wouldn't know and be paying attention. I think they probably knew based on who lined up uncovered who was actually supposed to be eligible, despite who they had been told was eligible. But at the same time, they were told someone else was eligible. You can't just go back and somehow reverse that call. Because if they'd been told the right person, they might have been covering him differently. It's the sort of fuck up that they just can't do anything about. It's just done. And it changes the entire, I mean, I don't care that much. It's the NFC. Who gives a fuck? But it changes the whole playoff landscape. It changes who gets home field advantage. It changes how much money the Detroit Lions and the city of Detroit are going to make. I mean, this is a multi-million-dollar fuck up. And the NFL is going to respond to it by sending out a video, a very specifically edited video, making it seem like the ref made the right call.
To allow the defense an opportunity to match personnel to avoid deception and to ensure fairness, the player must immediately report the change in his eligibility status to the referee.
When we could all see from the actual full video that the player skipper who was walking towards the ref, who had apparently been signaling as eligible the rest of the game, didn't get close to him, never said any words to him. The player who got close to him and spoke to him was Decker. It's as simple as that. If a ref can't listen or see who's standing in front of him, it doesn't matter who has reported eligible at other points in the game. Do your fucking job.
As a reminder to clubs and players, an offensive player numbered 50 through 79 or 90 through 99 is permitted to line up as an eligible pass receiver.
But the NFL just doesn't want to deal with the ref problem they have, and they have a ref problem. They really, really do. And everybody on the Lions saw what happened to the Chiefs a few games ago. And look, the Chiefs call was the right call. So calm down, Pat. Like, seriously, calm down. But Dan Campbell and Jared Goff and these poor linemen who've never been talked to by the press in their entire lives knew they couldn't say anything after the game. They just had to stand there looking absolutely bereft.
What I do know, and I don't know if I'll get fined for this, but I do know that Decker reported. I do know that Dan Skipper did not. And I do know that they said that Dan Skipper did. So it's unfortunate.
And not say anything that could get them fined tens of thousands of dollars. It's bullshit. It's nonsense.
I don't want to talk about it.
And then, of course, Dan Campbell had 2 other chances to just kick the extra point and go into overtime.
I told the offense that we were going down 141 left. We're going to go down and score, and then we're going to go for 2 and finish this game out. I told him that, and so that's what we were doing.
He did not do that because he was coaching mad at that point, and you're not making good decisions when you're coaching mad. that part's kind of on him. Cowboys, I think, have the 2 seed now, like, locked up. Like I said, I don't pay attention to the NFC. So that's pretty much the only real game-related drama I have to talk about this week. It's been pretty mellow in between games. Fans are just trash talking each other lazily, which, you know, it happens. Dolphins seem to be coping pretty hard. I'm trying not to get cocky. That's never served us well. I'm optimistic we can win this game. I'm less optimistic we're going to get a lot of help from other teams, so it's really just up to the Bills. They got to do this, and I think we can. I think Josh needs to play better. I heard a lot of people complaining about Tua getting into the Pro Bowl over Josh, and look, I think he's an amazing athlete. I wouldn't want any other quarterback on our team, but you can't look at his performance the last few games and think he's going to get the votes for the Pro Bowl. And the Pro Bowl's stupid anyway. All Pro means something. Pro Bowl means nothing. I mean, if you look at our defense, you've got Ed Oliver down at like 5th alternate or something, and no Terrell Bernard. He came out of nowhere and is doing an amazing job. And if you look at other teams, where is L'Jarius Sneed? He has not allowed any touchdowns all season. Why would you want any other cornerback on your team? Okay, I love Rasul Douglas, but seriously, and Sneed holds constantly and doesn't get called. But still, I think the only other things there are to talk about this week are things I don't really care that much about. Apparently, David Tepper, who owns the Panthers, threw a drink out of his box into the crowd. He's apparently like the worst owner in the league and should be punished for things way worse than that, you know, running his team into the ground. And since we're coming up on the anniversary of the greatest football comeback ever, no, wait, I think the Vikings finally beat it last year. But until recently, and maybe just the best playoff comeback, the Bills against the Oilers and Frank Reich.
And Houston now leads. Right to throw. Down the side, all alone.
Frank Reich got fired by David Tepper. I don't really know why. I don't think he was the problem with that team. It certainly hasn't gotten any better since he left. Frank Reich is making a shit ton of money right now for doing fuck all. He's getting paid by the Colts and the Panthers, and he doesn't have a job. He and Russell Wilson should hang out. And then the only other thing people are talking about right now is Aaron Rodgers.
This has something to do with the Epstein list that came out?
Feels like
It's supposed to be coming out soon.
Again.
A lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't.
It's like when you have a small child, stop paying attention to it when they're acting out, and they'll stop. My kids had some ABA therapy when they were really little, and this is kind of basic. Don't reinforce bad behaviors. Let's please treat Aaron Rodgers like a small autistic child. But yeah, that's all I got. Let's hope the Ravens beat the Steelers on Saturday night so I don't have to be stressed out all day Sunday, but I'll probably be stressed out all day Sunday. Go Bills.